video from my phone. Isn't it cool? Just had the urge to talk to myself, just sit here and kind of enjoy myself in some way. I have to work tomorrow. Boy, let me tell you, I would really like to, I don't know, not go, but I have to. You know how jobs can be. Like you don't want to go to something that you go do something that you really don't want to do. You don't want to go. My mom called them function jobs. My mom sang jazz, for a living. So did my stepdad. He worked a lot in the studio, worked in New York and stuff. And when I was a kid, though, my mom, for a while, she was working at a gas station, pumping gas in Arlington, Virginia. And that's called a function job. See, anybody that is like, a true gifted, some kind of creator, of a sculptor or writer, somebody who's really got some kind of potential. It depends on my day, I'm not always sure that the music is, it's there. It's always going to be there. But I remember going to gigs with my mother. And my stepdad, or, and, having a Shirley Temple, and hearing my mom sing, and, all these musicians, that I knew were friends of the family. Hey, what's happening? How are you? What is up? And, I'm a kid, watching my mom sing jazz tunes, if it was like a top 40 gig, she would have like a guitar player, a keyboard player, and they rehearsed at the house. We were lucky because we had a Rambler in Maryland, like a two levels, but spread out on one level. And on the property, we had a garage with a room behind it, that's where the rehearsals took place. There was a kerosene heater in there. There was carpets on the walls, for sound. And my stepdad's piano was in there. And it was a grand piano. But hey, what's happening? What is happening? I'm just talking about playing music and being a kid of musicians. What's up? How you doing, man? It's Monday morning yet. Is it Monday morning? Yeah, it is. What are you doing? Anyway, if you want to listen, you can, or watch anything you want. There's trillions of channels. Thanks for stopping by. So I'm a kid, like on the weekends I would go, because I loved music as a kid, right? I was lucky, because I was around music. A lot of kids weren't lucky, they were around. I think music is a positive thing for kids, I'm not talking about like Lady Gaga, and so I'm talking about like classical music, jazz, blues, country. Real country. I'm talking about, Anyway, I'm digressing. Like, I've been playing guitar for really 50 years. And that freaks me out. Like, a few weeks ago, I was talking to somebody in a live stream, and I was like, I've been playing guitar for... It's just like, oh, sheesh. Now when I tell people I play, they're like, how long? I'm like, 50 years. They're like, what? It's so stupid. But the jobs that I have, washing dishes in restaurants. And this time around, these two jobs I have, I'm very lucky. Like last month on my birthday, I got a raise on my birthday. What's happening? Thank you. Yeah, I'm just talking about, what is up. So, my birthday last month, I got a raise. I was washing dishes, and the manager comes in. He goes, "Hey, Daryl, I want to talk to you." I'd only been there a week or 2 weeks, a week and a half. And so like, oh crap, I gotta look for another job. And it was a long walk. I mean, it was only 5 or 20 feet into where they're building a bar next to the restaurant. So go in there, and he goes, "Daryl, I want to give you another $1 an hour." I was like so thankful. I was like, you know, I play guitar. It's like when I used to busk on the sidewalks in D.C., I used to play in Columbia Heights. I'd sit there and bang it out on an acoustic guitar. I mean, playing the blues, and somebody walk by, throw $1 in my case. That made me feel real good. But what made me feel better is when kids walk by and they like start dancing, and they check me out and they give me a thumbs up. That's like getting $100 bill, because you're making a connection with that kid. He's experiencing live music. I'm not trying to knock, computerized stuff, because a lot of that stuff's good, but that's like, that's a connection, man. Music it's a gift we've been given to give others and share, I'm talking about live music. I'm talking about music being played in your space. Like, you got a violinist and a cellist and a upright bass, a quartet, they're playing classical music, whatever. The sad part is when I was going to the gigs with my mother, I mean, I was picking up things that musicians do, about, being quiet during solos, you know. But it turns out that right now, the way my life is, I had more in common with the people working working in the kitchen in that restaurant than playing on a stage. Um, that's not a bad thing. But I'm going to open mics. I went this afternoon, over Merritt Island. Last week I played at the Beach Shack. I'm trying to find a drummer and a bass player. And I can grow them in a test tube, So chime in. You got 4 kids? Wow. Oh, for the children. Yeah. I was real lucky, and this may seem weird. My mom, I mean, I was listening when I was in utero, when I was in my mama. She put the headphones on her belly. Oh, in Florida. Dude, have him, send him my channel. Tell him to comment on one of my videos, and I'll get in touch with him or something. But my mom used to play the Beatles' White Album when I was inside her womb. Like, she put the headphones on her stomach. Was that in Jacksonville? He's in Jacksonville? Oh. I'm not in D.C. I escaped D.C. in May of 2019. That was the smartest thing I ever did. I am not kidding. Getting out of D.C. was the best thing that I could ever have done. Man, I feel bad for him. I'm not disparaging him. I know DC. I was a bike courier in the 80s. I used to deliver envelopes on a bicycle. Used to live in traffic 8 hours a day. I wanted to make a documentary called Living in Traffic about bike couriers. Um, but I had this thought today that I had a lot, as a kid, I had more in common with the people working in the kitchen as far as now what I do to pay rent, what I do now to eat, buy guitar strings, you know, um, pay my bills, pay my phone, maybe get myself some entertainment, you know. I mean, I love cinema. I love movies, man. Movies, I know people knock. I don't like television, but I love the cinema. Filmmaking is a art form, dude. There's so many great filmmakers. You got Stanley Kubrick, Martin Scorsese. I mean, Robert Altman, the guy who did Boogie Nights and Magnolia, Philip, uh, Paul Thomas Anderson. But Philip Seymour Hoffman was in. He's gone. We lost him. I love John Belushi, dude. Okay, one of the best John Belushi roles in any movie was in 1941 when he's that plane pilot. I don't know if whoever's watching, have you seen the movie 1941? He's flying and he's got this little squeezy, this little rubber woman. See, he's dead. But, I was a kid, that like made me laugh. That carries into every day for me. 41? Man, I hope you didn't think I was ragging on your friend for being in DC. That's not where I'm at. I used to live there. You probably think I still live there. You've been subscribed to me a long time, huh? What's your channel? Oh, it's Too Tall. Oh man, dude, Rob, I'm glad to see you here, man. I'm sorry I couldn't read. I'm feeling, a little bit too good right now. Um, I spent a lot of time during Occupy. We had a camp at McPherson Square, which is right across the street from the VA. VA is at 15th and H or I Street, 15th and I, and then the next block over is Lafayette Square, and then there's the White House. And there was a lot of veterans in Occupy. No matter what you may think about, the people that I knew in Occupy were real libertarian people. We had a good amount of libertarians because of the two-party system being BS. And during Occupy, I did have great conversations with people that were starting to like go, hey man, why do we keep getting screwed over? And I'm like, hey man, if you love freedom, just do it. Don't think about it. Just jump in, and read, educate yourself. People down here, they say, I don't like politics. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Politics loves you. Oh, politics really loves you. But I agree with George Carlin. I agree a lot with what George Carlin said, but he's talking about how people blame people who don't vote. But his view was that, hey, it's not my fault. I didn't contribute to this misery here. I chose not to because I didn't see any options there that were good for the people. Why would you do something that's not good for the people? Like good for yourself, good for your life, good for other people to, look at somebody's ideals and their character and say, okay, I want this person to lead this country. But the reality is, it's just a hood ornament, really. It's just a, uh, a hood ornament on a car. Like a Mercedes Benz thing. You know, cars have hood ornaments. I don't know. Did they cancel hood ornaments? Yeah, they did. They're gone. I think there's one or two cars that are made these days that have hood ornaments. I'd like to have one of the Mack trucks. The dog, the bulldog, that's on a Mack truck hood. Put that on my 1973 Ford Falcon XB That is the car that I would really love to have. I know people say they love cars, but that is the most magical car. And now it was used in Mad Max, Road Warrior, Mad Max 2, various iterations like in 2016 in Fury Road. But I think my age, when I saw Mad Max and I saw what happened to him and I saw how his kid and his wife were killed, and then he went and got that car, it was just like, whoa, that's a bad car. Even if it wasn't tricked out, if you look up the Ford Falcon, the Australian car, Ford Falcon XB or XA, yeah. Really? My mom had a Plymouth Valiant, a '69 Plymouth, yeah, it was a '69, I think. That must have been a cool car. Only 2,500 of them were made in Australia. The Ford Falcon XB or XB model. How did I get into cars? What is that? Yeah, my mom's car. It had this old air conditioner that was not built into the car. It was mounted underneath the dashboard between the two front seats. The seats weren't bucket. It was like a couch. It's one seat. They don't make cars like that anymore, where the seats are straight across. And it was white and black. I remember going and looking for pot with my mother. We were at the National Cathedral in Washington D.C. one time. I don't know. I must have been like 13, and she's calling this guy, and it's like, she was totally cool about it. She wanted me to engage with pot at home. She didn't want me to go out on the streets and stuff. But she also educated me a lot about what? Let me see if I can see. Bed sheets. Yeah, sort of like, yeah, a couch. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, my mom being on a payphone, trying to call this guy and say, hey. And back then, I remember when I used to in Arlington, Virginia, when I used to what? Catch me when I'm live. And how? Oh, I definitely will, dude. I will, man. You got it. Look, I'm in the light. All right, man. Well, what was I saying? Yeah. So my mom, she wanted me to do my homework when I come home, but she would be like, after you're done, if you want to watch some TV, I'll give you a hit of the toker. My mom had a glass toker, and she was, cool about it. My dad gave me a bong hit when I was probably 8. I was at I don't remember, one of his friends' houses, one of his friends who were a veteran, and they had this really tall bong. It was like a blue cylinder bong. And the Beatles were playing. It was Abbey Road, and it was it's one of the ones where the piano ends. It's really heavy shit. Well, anyway, look, I did this, and I coughed, and everybody was laughing at me. But every time I hear that song, I remember that. I think was it Bob Dylan who got the Beatles stoned? I don't remember. Are you still here, Too Tall? We got 5 people in here. Anybody else want to say hello? Paraquat. Hello. How are you doing? Explore the holy. Hello. Yes. Yes. Thank you for saying hello. So what was I saying? You see, my grandfather, my mother's father, he was a jazz piano player, and he smoked pot. In the late 40s and 50s, those were really the only people that did that. And my mom didn't start, I think, on her own until she was doing music, or something around that time. But now my grandmother, she got out of Berlin in 1938 or 39. Hey, what's up, alien believers? What's happening? How's the sky out there? Tommy, glad to see you, man. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Yeah, I would love to be friends with a couple farmers right now. I bet. It's down to about it's about 45 in Cocoa Beach. Getting ready to hop on. Okay. Don't fall down in the shower, man. It's about 45 degrees right now in Florida, or Cocoa Beach. Look at my, I'm wearing my, it's a pretty good jacket. Set me back about nothing. It was a gift. But yeah, I never advertised 32 degrees. Jeez. But I never advertised that I smoke pot. It wasn't like, even in high school, I didn't have a shirt that had a pot leaf on it. I mean, I had a Van Halen tour shirt, or I had I spray painted Sex Pistols on a white T-shirt with, like, because I like the Sex Pistols, and I like Van Halen. There was no kid in my school who liked both of those bands simultaneously. They would never admit that they liked both of them, because one crowd liked Van Halen and a different crowd liked the Sex Pistols. So you were not allowed to like both of those bands. Like, I like Leonard Skinner. I also like the Sex Pistols. So, what? You can't like Leonard Skinner and the Sex Pistols? That's insane. What's wrong with you? Fun fact, that the road manager for Van Halen from 1978 to 1984, the year before, 2 years before, was the road manager for the Sex Pistols. Jimi Hendrix, yeah. I had a Jimi Hendrix shirt. Grateful Dead shirt. Oh, Metallica. They weren't around then. Metallica was not around. They were in high school like me. I'm about the same age as them. It's really weird, people dying. It's, when you start to get older, you're like, people are kicking off, and this whole thing that we're going through, man, if you stop and think about it, what they're doing, it'll scare the living crap out of you. But you know something? If you have protection, happiness is a warm, you know what I'm saying? And the problem that I've been having with my roommate, I sleep with a machete, and I feel so safe when I'm sleeping with a machete. I do. Let's see. Anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to speak their piece? You know, it was weird. I was watching The Conversation with Gene Hackman. It's on Hulu. It's about this guy who's like a, what was that? Peace. All right, Tinfoil Hatter. Hello. Hi. I'm glad to see you. The other people in this chat, Tinfoil Hatter, they're really interesting people. Tinfoil Hatter is very interesting. She is very smart, and this website, for over 14 years, I've met the most amazing people. I mean, despite all the YouTube censoring my videos and trying to destroy communication, we used to be able to have friends on YouTube. We could directly message each other. Like, you go to someone's channel and it said message. You can't do that anymore. You can't post video responses. Like, somebody will say something, hey, this is going on. You could make a video response and say, hey, this is going on also. See, YouTube saw people talking about, buildings falling from stuff. And we were drawing lines. We were making connections. Oh, too late. Too late. We know what happened. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I know there's, but I've spoken to so many people over the past 15 years, and there's been so much chicanery in the movement. A lot of people, get all excited about stuff, and if you just look at the facts, man. Everybody in charge that day got promoted. Everybody. Who's getting promoted today? I would like to actually be the second restaurant that I work at. I would really love to work there as like hands-on manager. Like former Air Force. Oh man, I'm sorry to see that. Former Air Force. Oh man. My dad used to grow weed in Arkansas. And when last year I got to see him, he would bring me like a trash bag full of like plants, like just freshly picked. They were all leaves and stuff. He used to drive down there. He had a Chevy van, like a 1968 Chevy van that was green primer. He would drive down to Arkansas and go cut it down. And he lived like somewhere near Georgetown or something in D.C. at the time. And he was an RN, and he also worked at the fire department. Yeah. If you can call your father right now, call your father. Just tell him you love him. I know that I would really like to do that. Anyway, Washington, D.C., I got out May of 2019. That's awesome, dude. Tinfoil Hatter. I can't be mad at my father for doing what he did. You know, Tommy, the sad thing about the statistics on that is that they can claim that even if somebody dies, they were cured. What's with that? I'm so sorry. There's so many things, that I could talk about here. There's so many things that branch out. There's so many things that we need to talk about. I want to talk about, but I just turned on my phone because I wanted to grab a cigarette outside. I I have a playlist that I made of gig tunes, tunes that I play at, just some of them, like Rockin' in the Free World, Bush Come Down, Billy Idol, Rebel Yell, White Wedding, some Pink Floyd stuff, but I know that I can play the theme to 28 Days Later. I don't know if you know that song. It's called In a Heartbeat or In the House. You recognize it if you hear it. It's a pretty intense song. But about 2 months ago when I jammed with these guys, it didn't work out, but we played that song. And man, everybody stopped in the bar and stood around the stage and were watching us, and they were all staring at us like, shit. If you hear the song, you know what I'm talking about. It's by John Murphy. And that's a very weird song to whip out at a gig because people are like, holy shit, that's from 28 Days Later. What's going on here, Pink Floyd, Tom Petty, okay? See, Tom Petty will get a crowd going, okay? You walk in there, you play Running Down a Dream, you got them in your hand. That's a great song. Tom Petty, what a great guy. I'm talking about, he is like in, my top 50 favorite writers and musicians as far as rock and roll. But my top 10, if I may say, and if you want to give me your top 10 musicians or rock and roll people, number 1, Eddie Van Halen. I don't want to go into right now. He did a hell of a lot of stuff you probably don't even know he did. Second is Alan Holdsworth, guitar player from England, died in 2014 or 16. He's the cat that Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Eddie Van Halen worshipped. Alan Holdsworth. 3, Frank Zappa. Your aunt? Oh, man. You see, my uncle was a Marine. He was in Quezon in 68. And he's got problems. Beatles, yeah. They're in there. I was going to get to them. Frank Zappa. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Duke Ellington. I love XTC. The other night in the kitchen, I asked the chef on his Bluetooth to play Dear God by XTC. Yeah. I got some issues with my health, and I am deathly, even though I'm in Florida, I am deathly terrified of being in some database. I know they don't have me registered yet, so that means that I'm a person of interest. Why won't he do anything? Why won't he, I hate to admit this, dude, but I was on unemployment, okay? I worked at a restaurant for almost a year, and I lost my friggin' job for 2 weeks. They shut down the restaurant for 2 weeks. It was March, or no, April, it was May of 2020. Oh yeah. It's, it's, there's no, there's really not, you can't get help. Like, you can't actually go and say, look, I know what I need, can you help me? No, we're gonna make sure that you've got your test. We're gonna go ahead and give you that thing. We're gonna look inside we want to look in your pee. We want to look at your blood. We want to see, are you taking anything you shouldn't be taking? Well, you smoke marijuana. How come you don't have a card? Why would I ask the government permission for something my ancestors grew and smoked? They didn't ask permission. Anyway, I'm waxing messianic. Does anybody want to say anything? Oh, yeah. Tommy, in Nevada where they did all those tests, northeast of there, the way the wind blows, a lot of people, like from like the mid 40s to like, I don't know, they were bombing the crap out of that place for, it looks like the moon, but radiation is the gift that keeps on giving, man. It's the thing. Here's my buddy. That's really good. That's really, really good. I came up with one a few months ago, or a month ago, or 2 months, I don't know, on Twitter. People were talking about the mask thing. And I came up with, my glasses don't work unless you wear yours. So put on your glasses. Huh? Right? That's a really good one. The system's not broken, it's fixed. And it's a big club, and we ain't in it. Now, see, George Carlin had a lot of money, okay? But he made that money doing what he loved, and he was really successful. That's right. We're hardened by rads. But see, Carlin was not one of them. I know empirically that man was the genuine article. And that's why he ain't around no more. But there are so many truisms in all his things that were very factual, and he pissed off even people that loved him. But see, that's the great measure of comedy and good writing. You have to challenge the barriers, even within your little bubble. He was great. Yep, he was. And I know Richard Pryor wasn't doing so well, at the end, but Richard Pryor, what was that thing he used to do called Mudbone? He used to do that old man telling the story. That's Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor were in that movie where they go to prison. I can't remember. Really funny. Yes, Tommy. Stir crazy. Exactly. Yeah. Remember the big guy in Stir Crazy? The big dude in the cell? And he started singing? That was cool as hell. He had a beautiful voice. This big lug. He said, "Oh." But Blazing Saddles, okay? Blazing Saddles, okay? Yeah, looked like a butterbean, yeah. Blazing Saddles, okay? Excuse me while I whip this out. Blazing Saddles, really, that movie would never be made today. So many of the movies I love and cherish. Yes, I love movies, cinema, okay? I already said it. Those movies would never be made today. Butterbean, the last intelligent boxer. Yeah, yeah. Anybody here new to the chat, or I don't live stream very often, but if you see somebody commenting and you like what they say, check out their channel and subscribe to them, because you might meet somebody you have a lot in common with, or just of some things, and you guys can, you know, be YouTube friends, whatever. I encourage that, If you look at my channel, there's channels that it says channels you may like. It's funny. Channels you may like. That's a section on my channel, and these are other channels that I show. Hey, check these people out. And I always energetically support. I don't have like a lot in the bank. I don't have a lot up here either, right? But you know, the weird thing is now is this thing with Almagansett. What is this? Yep, Google Plus. Yep, that's right. Google Plus now, Tommy, is now military. That whole infrastructure on the internet, that's all for the military. A couple years ago, Mr. Monograph was talking about that. He's been right about a lot of things, man. I've been watching him for 14 years. Yeah, you know what? Is that, oh, stick? Stick? Did you say stick or sick? Yeah, I don't. I I have 3 channels. Okay, I have DVincentW, Clairvoyant Amnesiac, and Daryl Willis. My name is Daryl Vincent Willis. Steal my identity. Militarization of. Oh yeah, but see, you know what? No shit. I remember in January of 2020, he said, "You will not recognize, you will not recognize the United States in what 6 months? Shorter." He was right. He was stone cold right. When I wake up every morning, I have to be reminded that this is going on. I'll get up, and I will get my coffee, and I will shave and whatever, and shower, and eat some bananas or have some oatmeal or something, I'll go outside, I'll get on my bike and go to work, and I'll see this person with a surgical mask on. Oh, that's right. Damn. I forgot. So, yes, even in Cocoa Beach, there's people that are terrified. I am very, very thankful that I am armed with the knowledge that I have. I'm not bragging about knowing. I don't know everything, but I'm just saying I'm very lucky that I have the knowledge I have. because I would rather be in this state of mind, in this situation, than be naive or probably dead. I mean, literally, I think the things that I have found out, and I think leaving DC was saved my life. I really do. They would have put me in an institution and jabbed me, and I would have been gone. But see, the reason why is because of this website. I have met so many cool people. There was a guy named Texan Cyclist. Does anybody remember this man? He was an amazing gentleman. His channel's still up. And his daughter, he died in 2009. One of the things I hated about YouTube removing your community page, because if you've been on YouTube for more than 10 years, I haven't been out of the house in about a month this evening. Yep. I love sunshine. I really do. I really love sunshine. And moonshine. What was I saying? That I'd rather know what I know than be ignorant. Well, not that I'm all-knowing. I'm just saying, I'm not ignorant of a lot of things. And it's so weird. When I go to the grocery store, I'll walk in Winn-Dixie and, go get what I want. I go to the line and I see the person working, and people working there wearing muzzles. And I'm like, I don't say anything to them about it. But I've had conversations with people like, how's life? And I'm like, well, I'm just, working hard and having some time off. And, well, how about that Dr. Fauci? And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Did I say the bad word? Oh, I did say the bad word. Oh, my gosh. But people are not. There was somebody that I met at work. She doesn't work there anymore, but she was a waitress, but she went on to a better job. But I was talking to her, and at first she seemed like she was a lamb. She was like, oh, I'm just going to be, she wasn't wearing a muzzle or anything, but she was real scared. And I started talking to her, and we were talking during break, and she said, do you know anything? And I said, you have to look up The Last American Vagabond. Go look him up and check him out. I saw her a few weeks later, and she said, that guy's amazing. I am so glad you told me about that guy. So, yeah, Ryan Christian. Ryan? I know his name's Ryan. We are lucky, at least in my opinion, I'm really glad that there's somebody like him, among others, James Corbett, okay? Even Luke Rudowski. I mean, I met Luke in 2012 during Occupy in McPherson Square, and he wanted $5 from me for interviewing him. He said, "Can you give me $5?" He said he was joking, but he had his phone on a gimbal. This is 2012. He had his phone on a gimbal, and he also had an SLR camera, and wearing that big hat, But I met Alex Jones in 2012 at the Bilderberg in Chantilly, Virginia. And I don't know if that video is still up. See, I used to use copyrighted music, and that was really stupid. But AJ shows up, all these people are clamoring and surrounding him, and he's got his bullhorn, and he's screaming, about, something. And people were signing his bullhorn, okay? And the siren on his bullhorn was going off, and the man I saw, it was disappointing. To me, he was really full of himself and wanted the attention. that's not, I'm sorry, it's just not my cup of tea, you know. And it didn't bother me to, like, but, look what happened to him. Look what's happening to everybody. Even though I may not, yeah, he's real sensationalist. It drives me bad. I thought about going, yeah, yep. I wonder if I still have that. I think it got taken down or flagged for something. I'm not sure. I was going to say about using copyrighted music. The video that I posted from 2008 where the Maryland trooper impounded my wife's car at the airport, it had 84 views before it got taken down again. But that's why it's not up, because the copyright publisher of the song I used in it, it's a song by King Crimson. It's called Eyes Wide Open. And the lyrics in that song really apply. Oh, God. But evidently, the political motivation of the video offended the publisher, so they don't want. Usually, they'll put an ad on your video, or maybe it's something else, or YouTube just doesn't want it up because the cop broke the law. He took my wife's car. My wife didn't even want to fight it. Trying to stay positive, people. How's everybody doing? Show me, baby. Show me, baby. He's like a brother to me. I mean, there's so many things that he says that I think about, and I really do believe that gentleman really does care. He's the salt of the earth, man. We are lucky to have him communicating and chiming in and saying things sometimes. You know, when he doesn't live stream for like a week, I'm like, what's up with him? Hope he's all right. But anyway, Texan cyclist. This man used to do vlogs from his garden, and he would wear this cowboy hat that had feathers on it. And he was talking about the war, about Bush, Dick Cheney, and all this thing. But he had a way of talking that was very poetic. And when he would end his videos, he would take a deep breath, and he would say, into the circle file. Into the circle file. He was awesome. Texan cyclist. There was a guy named Nuff Respect with three F's. Nuff Respect. I don't know if you remember them. Nuff Respect really had a way of making videos that were very poignant. Rage Underground, great channel. The Anti-Terrorist. He was, from what I can tell, or from what I guessed, he wore a ski mask, and he altered his voice. He lowered his voice with a pitch transposer. His voice would talk like this, and he would talk about constables and how the police are not your friend. And he was very, very matter of fact and very logical and rather interested in helping you out. I posted a video of his a few years back, and it's age restricted, because it's about your rights. We don't want kids to know about their rights. They might grow up and stand up, or they might stand up now. We need to keep them looking at their phones like I am right now, in the kitchen or in their bedrooms, staring at their phones, wanting an affirmation that they're popular. So restaurant I work at during the day just got bought. Oh, wow. What was that? What's that name? Order, order coffer. My eyesight's not really good. Order coffer. Oh, that's really good. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You know, your channel name, it, for me, my channel names are really important. And when I made this channel in April of 2007, I sat at my computer at my desk and I thought, what do I want to name my channel? And I knew, I was like, this has to be something that never want to change. So, DVincentW. I know it sounds pretentious or weird, but I didn't want to call myself a guitar god or something like that. Yes, I'm so glad you remember them. Anti-terrorist hasn't made a video in 7 years. What was that? Wonder is how. Yeah, but I posted a video yesterday about somebody I've been watching here, and I think you guys know who it is. Change the channel. Change the channel, dude. He's amazing. Change the channel. DA. Yeah. You know, his brother is in the video. One of the things that got released from Manning was called Collateral Murder. The video is on YouTube. I have it on my channel, but it's age restricted. But one of the things that got released from what Manning released through Wikipedia or WikiLeaks shows it's from an Apache helicopter, and there are Iraqis on the ground. And aside from the things that the pilot says and how they're having fun doing this, Ethan McCord was, I think he was in the 3rd Battalion. He was in a APC, and he was on the ground. He's in that video. He pulled the little girl and the little boy out of the bongo truck. It was a Toyota van that got shot up by a .50 caliber. And he saved those 2 little kids. Change the Channel, I think that is Change the Channel's brother. I can't be sure, but it was around that time when I went to Manning's trial. I must have gone 10 times to Fort Meade. And he would stand at attention. But when I saw him standing up in the courtroom, I saw somebody who was really standing. Somebody who really, I mean, you know, you can say whatever you want about the gender thing, Chelsea and all this, you know. But I say, it's just, the taking of human life is a real fucked up thing. And if it's being done in our name, and that person said, screw it, people need to know this. That's the real most important thing. They try to make you, you know, ignore this and that, you know. But yeah, I supported Manning. And I made a video actually during all this. I walked around in the streets of D.C. and I said, do you know who Bradley Manning is? Nobody did. Chelsea Manning. And at the end of the video, I end up at the White House, and there's been a vigil there since 1981, started against nuclear proliferation. And I asked that guy, and he knew. I used to volunteer at that vigil. the White House every Saturday, and a lot of those videos are on my channel. Some funny interactions with Secret Service. They don't like being photographed by people like me, but you know, if you're from Wisconsin or Japan, you can take their picture. You know, the White House. So if you look at a map of DC, you can see the owl. Following orders. I was watching a cop video today. I can't remember who these guys were, but it was pretty interesting. Somebody mirrored the video, and this cop had come out real aggressive, like, you know. And near the end, he was all backing off, and he said, "I'm just following orders." I was like, that's a really stupid thing to say. You know, it's kind of like saying, "I don't want any trouble." You know, if you're in a situation, that, not with a cop, but like somebody was like, you know, never say, "I don't want any trouble." Don't ever say that. It's better to say nothing, or you know, be agreeable, but don't ever say, "I don't want any trouble." Oh man, how long have I been on? Can anybody tell me? Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm really enjoying this. You know, I'm really enjoying myself right now. You know, I was playing guitar earlier, and I'm trying to meet other musicians, so I go to open mics, and I meet some pretty cool people. But this afternoon, I went up to this H&D Roadhouse. It's in Merritt Island, and Saturday afternoons outside they have a jam. There's a guy. Hey, are you giving us a hassle, man? Yeah, I played, and you know, I tried to play "Ain't Talking About Love," and I just couldn't loosen up, man. I stunk, but everybody loved it. But I thought it was terrible. I was so tense. I was just like, I can't, you know. You know, here I am. I take a cab. I drop $15 on a cab, go from Cocoa Beach to Merritt Island, go play music for 45 minutes. Didn't make any money, but I did because in the hopes that, and I did meet some cool people. And a buddy of mine was playing bass in the band. So, you know. My record that I wanted to make, you know, this past April, when I was sleeping on the beach. I don't know if anybody was following me then. The difference between cops and mafia are mafia no. That's right. You know, I could, yeah. It's a costumed mafia. It's an organized ring of theft, and there's, you know, I feel bad for police who are genuinely good, because they have to see and act upon, if they really are conscientious, like catching a cop who's drunk driving. I think it was James Freeman. He shared a video. This dude, man, he was expecting to get off, man. And that cop really held his feet to the fire, man. He was just like, nah, man. Sorry. And he's like, oh, it's just because of the camera. No, the guy, the arresting officer really came back with something pretty smart. I can't remember specifically, but the thing is about using our rights right now is some people are saying that, oh, you're making it worse for everybody. Like there's some legislation, I think, if anybody knows, they're trying to make it illegal to film police doing their job. And one of the guys I know that really liked police and didn't like, that was, was Donald Trump. There was a meeting he was having in 2019 with police chiefs from all over different places in the United States, and he was talking about asset forfeiture. Kyle distinguished himself. I watched that video. There's a couple different videos, and I watched his behavior. He's very down. He's definitely okay by me. John Hurley. John Hurley. Remember John Hurley, I hope. He was helping police and he got shot. I still have John's phone number on my phone. Christopher Dorner. Anybody remember Christopher Dorner? Please chime in if you remember him. I was following that story. And those police shot up that truck. That old lady and her daughter were in that truck. They want to make it illegal to be in public. Yeah. That's why I keep. You're up in Canada, right, Tinfoil? Are you in Canada? On Montreal or Quebec or something? Canada is America's hat. I love Canadian people. Michigan, okay. Well, if you can keep your head about you while all others are losing theirs. Isn't that it's Shakespeare, isn't it? Isn't that Shakespeare? God. Like the day I left DC, I actually made a video about leaving DC. The video is called "A Job Waits for Thee in Florida" or something like that. And I was filming out the bus window. And when I make a video like that, I have an idea of what I'm looking for, or what I want to do. And I will never ever go back there. Never ever go back to that place. So I went back from Florida. I went back in 2005 or late 2004. And in September of 2004, I saw Van Halen in Fort Lauderdale. And then 2 weeks later, I went back up to DC to record a record with my friend Norman Vanderslice, who's on a lot of the music I have here on my channel. Yeah, District of Criminals. And I went back up there, and I still have those songs, on my hard drive, and I have them on my channel. I mean, he's the kind of drummer I could get in a room with, and we can write music right away. In 3 minutes, we have a song, and as long as it takes to write it, to play it. I mean, down to an intro, a chorus, verse, chorus, a bridge, maybe a break, and then we would write an ending. That is something that new music doesn't have. Good endings. Listen to a lot of these techno songs. All that happens in the song is it just stops. Oh, the beats? I love drums. I love acoustic drum kits. I love djembes, not bongos. They're called djembes. I love Springfield, Virginia. Kicks. Wait a second. Tommy. I played a gig with Kicks when I was 16 at Hammerjacks in Baltimore, Maryland. I didn't even need a fake ID. Our band was called Interceptor. Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, Scorpions. I don't remember the name of the guitar player, but this was pretty much a last-minute thing. Their lead guitar player blew my Marshall head. He said, "Do you mind?" I was like, "Oh, dude, man, sure, go ahead." I can't remember his name for some reason. I can't remember his name. Oh, Kip Winger. She's only 17. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. That shit's not cool. Yeah, he blew my head. Oh, no, I mean, he didn't blow my head. It was a Marshall amplification device. It's got tubes in it, and it was a 100-watt head that I bought at Chuck Levin's for like $400. And the next day, we were setting up for rehearsal, and I turned it on, and it wouldn't work. And it was something was, something happened. Maybe it was just bad luck. But he's the last guy to play through it. That's right. You said that. 1980. You know who's got a cool song called 1980? Joe Satriani has I think he came out recently. It's called 1980. It's a really cool song. You should check it out. I love Joe Satriani, man. Joe Satriani is really great, man. Like today at my day job, I work with two youngins. They're greenhorns, and they're playing like rap, and they're playing Lady Gaga, and they're playing all this stuff, right? Linda Little Bear. No, I don't know. I don't know them. So so I said, "Would you play this?" And so I said, "Flying in a Blue Dream" by Joe Satriani. Okay? Guess what happened? Well, I'm going to tell you. Yep. Yep. So the song starts, and it's got this film dialogue. I don't know what movie he got it from, but it sounds like this little girl talking to an adult woman, and it's real reverbed out, and his guitar comes in with this feedback, like real gentle feedback, and it's very panchromatic. It's very, very vast. And this couple come in, and the dude was a guitar player, and he freaked out. I mean, this guy freaked out. There's Joe Satriani playing in this restaurant, right? He dropped $20 in the tip bowl. Yeah. I should get that $20. No, I'm kidding. One of my day jobs, I share tips, which is great as a dishwasher, man. When you get that, on that Sunday or that Saturday afternoon, when you get that cash injection, I am so lucky to have two jobs. Do you know how lucky I am? Do you know how lucky? I know how lucky I am. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not in my name. In like 2008, I made a video about, the video is called Freedom of Speech. And there's a song by a band called Liquid Tension Experiment. John Petrucci, um, great instrumental, really great rock. Well, they have a song called Freedom of Speech. And it's a 9-minute video. The song is 9 minutes long, and I took photographs. I didn't do much video, but it's like 100 photographs of this march that was in D.C. And Adam Kokesh was there, just a lot of veterans against the war, and they were carrying a coffin draped in a flag in front of the line of thousands of people. There was probably about 2,000, maybe 1,500 people. But where are they now? Well, I know I got out of there, but I don't know about any of you. But when I think about Australia, yep, 7 countries in 7 years. What are they going to do? They're going to turn it on us now. They already are. Show me. Hey, what's up, Sasquatch? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. The military-industrial complex, the military-medical industrial complex is going to turn on us. One of the things my father told me, I was reading a book. What book were you reading? Book of John or the book of Job? My dad told me that in a combat zone, a non-combatant is called a civilian. John, okay. And people throw around civilian all the time in conversations. Especially in comments, you see a comment thread, somebody says something, so-and-so civilian. But we're talking about like a city street in America, but they're already using the language of war. Rules of engagement, ROE, right? My father never talked about Vietnam, ever. Not a thing. But he did speak parenthetically about me not being in the service. He never heard me play guitar. He died when I was 16. November 13th, 1982. It's the same day that the Vietnam Wall was dedicated in Washington, D.C. Black granite wall was designed by a Vietnamese girl. My dad was at Big Sur in California. And my great-grandfather had just died. He was in the Big War, or he was in World War II. And they had a bond. You know, something that generational veterans have. I'm not a veteran. And I can't understand really what it's like, but I can empathetically really grasp that. Yeah, that's right. Be all about protecting. Yep, that's right. Well, actually, the cops are also citizens. See, I use the term citizen. The problem with society today is it doesn't cherish good people. You're so right, man. There's a lot of really good churches in this area. When I was having a rough time, I could go to the pantry and get canned food and stuff like that. And they would give me a bag of cookies and whatnot. And they were extremely good people. I had a conversation with this pastor last year. Okay, we were talking about stuff, and he said in like 2009, the authorities in the area came to the church and said, we want you to tell us if there's anybody in your parish that's talking about stuff that might be strange. Like, for example, you know, uh, planes flying into buildings and, you know, stuff like that. And, talking about, explosives and thermate and, stuff like that. Or anybody who, like, has guns or whatnot. Yeah, human resources. So, he said he wouldn't. And they come to him. They want him to, this and that. Well, he ain't there anymore. He ain't at that church anymore. Show Me Baby was talking about this. He touches on it, at least last week or a few nights ago. And I said something about it in the chat, and he echoed that. It was 2007, 2008 when they were labeling, you know, veterans as, people coming back from combat in Iraq, Afghanistan, and whatnot. They were now they're the enemy of the ones who trained them. It's so sick. Like, how could you do that to a human being? I mean, they lie to them and they say, you're going to fight for God and country, but really they're fighting for Lockheed Martin, DARPA, Bank of America. This is horrible. A for-profit war? On the VA, there's a plaque at the VA headquarters in D.C. It's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. It says, for the veteran, his son, and his orphan or his widower. It's a big plaque. I have a photograph of it somewhere. And I would stand there and look at that and think, I bet you my father did that same thing. My father couldn't get. That's why he worked. He kept himself busy. He went back in late 66 because he could not readjust to being home. I was born in 64. My dad volunteered. He was in the 1st Air Cavalry. He was in Fort Campbell. I know that he was at Fort Rucker. I used to have a letter he sent me that he wrote to me when he was on the aircraft carrier going over to Vietnam. I lost it. This is, but the thing is I have to carry in my heart what my father wanted me to do is play music and also be the eyes and ears and try to overcome what's happening. My dad had a lot of ideas that this was going to happen, but he had nightmares, all that stuff. In 69? My dad was in the yeah, I can only play one beat on the drums. He was Air Force. Yeah, he said they're poor dumb pawns to be used in war. Is that what Henry said? Henry Kissinger and Condoleezza Rice, Dick Cheney, and George Bush, and Donald Rumsfeld's gone. There's such a long list. Yeah, poor dumb pawns to be used in war. That's what, I'm paraphrasing, but okay. My dad gave me a book. I think I was probably 14. I had started playing guitar a year or so before that, and Johnny got his gun. he gave me a paperback of that book. It was written in 1938 by Dalton Trumbo, and it's a stream of consciousness of a guy who was in World War I, and he can't see, he can't hear. Plain as the nose on your face. Johnny Got His Gun is a stream of consciousness of this guy in a hospital bed. At the beginning of this book, they're sawing his arm off. He couldn't feel it, but he could feel the way the author describes not being able to feel the sensation of having your arm sawed off because it was gangrene or something. He was so injured. And he talks about hugging his girlfriend. That his arm that he used to hold his girlfriend. But everybody should read that book. Everybody should read Johnny Got His Gun. I know it sounds corny as hell. No, not at all, man. That book was banned during World War II. It was banned during the Korean War. It was taken out of libraries during Vietnam. And it ended up in a lot of piles burning in the South. Because, you don't want Johnny reading that book and then walking away from the recruiter office. In 1967, 1966, no. Dad, can I go to Canada? My dad looked me in the eye and said, don't ever trust them. Those 3 words, don't trust them, are just like, and I've had some friends who are dead because they were in Afghanistan guarding poppy fields. I dated this girl in 2010. She was a Marine. She guarded poppy fields. The Taliban wanted to burn it down for our Vicodin and our morphine. And when the vets come back then they just say, here, take this, here's 280 Vicodin. And then you get some beer, some whiskey, and you feel okay for a few minutes. But, anyway, what else can I say? Read a good book. Play some music. Tell someone you love them. Call your father. Call your mom. Call your brother. You probably have somebody in your family who doesn't want to talk to you anymore because you don't want to get the thing. Yes. Yep. Yeah. This guy who was in Iraq, he lost his legs. He had a blue heeler dog. Yeah. He felt it. He could still feel his feet. A friend of mine was saying 2005 his column got hit with a mortar or something. Anyway, he was thrown from the vehicle. I think it was a Humvee, and his buddy who was sitting next to him was on the other side of the road, still in the Humvee, and they were pinned down, and they couldn't get to him. I mean, they were there all night. Well, on the other side of the highway, there was a pack of wild dogs that attacked him. I know this sounds all dramatic and stuff, but sorry, I missed that comment. Hold on. My friend and I used to stop at local. Oh yeah. Now you can't get hydrocodone. You can't. if your head is chopped off, they're going to say something. They're not going to give you anything for pain. Afghanistan, Jesus. 432 hertz. You know those 12 people that had the heart attack at the concert? 5.7 graphene oxide. And they got boosters. It's fine. Go to a concert. Yeah, go on. Have fun. Rage Against the Machine. What a bunch of... Rage Against the Machine, man. They are two-faced, backstabbing. They are mice. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, and I'm going to go ahead and get the thing, and I'm not going to play for anybody. We're not going to have any concerts for you unless you get the thing. Because, you know, dude, it's so like, I try in the chat, in Show Me Baby's chat, I was trying to tell, there's a guy who goes in the chat, I don't know whether it's a guy or a girl, but their account is called Rage Against the Machine. And I said, hey, you know about them, right? They're like, F you, I'm going to do what you tell me. And he got all upset. I was like, okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I didn't want to attack you. I just wanted to tell you. And it's all good. But, I mean, how many times have we seen somebody, who's really a stand-up is John Lydon. John Lydon. Johnny Rotten. Yeah, he's not for it. Eric Clapton. I found out last month that it was an interview. It was on a radio station with their nephew's a SEAL. Interview with Eddie Van Halen's son, Wolfgang. He's got an album out that came out last year. It's called Mammoth. The band is called Mammoth. And he said that because of the lockdown, that Edward couldn't get treatment. And he died because he couldn't go for his treatment to Germany. Yeah, people want to watch Netflix. Netflix and chill. Open your pantry door and look at all that food that you've scurried away. And let's see, I'm gonna have a can of Campbell's soup, and I'm gonna make a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm gonna curl up in my. I'm gonna watch Friends. I was really disappointed. My old lady saw the Dog Man. Yeah. Very disappointed because I got HBO Max. I have Hulu. Okay, and I'm going to get Netflix because I want to see the Dave Chappelle thing, but I got HBO Max because I want to see the prequel about The Sopranos. I love The Sopranos. That show is so good. I know you probably, if you haven't seen it, you think I'm crazy and it's bullshit. No. It's a great show. It's a really good show. I wore a mask twice. And that was in like March 2020. But I rode the bus here in Cocoa Beach. And guy says, you got to wear a mask. I sat down. Yep. That's right. That's right. He who funnels the money controls your gig. We control your gig, and we control your audience. I sat down on the bus, and the guy says, he stopped the bus and pulled over. Said, he got out of his driver's seat and said, I'm going to call the police if you don't put on a mask. So I pulled out my phone, and I thought I hit record. You know how your Android can be weird? I was focusing at him, and he started coming up to me. I don't really remember exactly what he said, but look, I'm going to call the police if you don't put on this mask. And I said, well, first of all, your hand you don't have a sanitary glove on your hand. I'm not going to put that mask on my face after you've held it. Okay? And second of all, you're rebreathing, you're exhaling all the germs that your body's trying to get rid of. You're breathing them back in with that thing, whatever. I said something like that to him. I said, you don't have a right to make me wear a mask. And I thought I was recording, but I didn't. Guy got back into his driver's seat and kept driving. I wish that I'd recorded it. I was so pissed. Now when I record something, I make sure it's really running. Well, you know, TV, All in the Family, Star Trek, I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, The Twilight Zone. I'm talking about there was some good, there's good stuff in there, but now there's just, it's, I watched The Sopranos. I think I've seen the whole series probably 4 times all the way through. But I've watched, one of my all-time favorite episodes is Pine Barrens, when Christopher and Paulie are with the Russian, the interior decorator. Remember? Yeah, I bought that. I have it on my Daryl Willis channel. I buy movies on YouTube. I do. I shouldn't. But these are movies that I can't find anywhere else. They don't have them on Hulu. They don't have them on anything. High Anxiety, Mel Brooks. Catch-22, I bought that. I bought the first Alien movie. Office Space. Idiocracy. Idiocracy's free now, by the way. The Hunger. Wow. See, Home Depot, man. It's so weird because people come in the restaurant and they come in to order and they're wearing muzzles. Nobody in this restaurant's wearing a muzzle. Okay, and they're still cool. They're still cool, you know. And there's no big deal. I'm in the back washing dishes. It's no big deal. But like when I go, or when any of us goes somewhere, it's like, but now there's really no problem where I am, you know. I mean, I see people in cars driving around wearing masks. But see, people are coming to Florida, and they're bringing their neurosis with them. They're bringing their fear of this monstrous myth, excuse me. I looked up Corona, okay? I went to the library, and I looked up medical journals. And 1972, it's in a book, in paper, in print, okay? It can't be changed or altered like on the internet. You know how they scrub the internet? Like there used to be so much stuff in the mid-2000s about those buildings in Manhattan. There used to be all kinds of neat stuff. I mean, the tenant list of Tower 1 and 2, you know, those buildings were really vacant. There was like 40% occupancy and 60% in the North Tower. Like so many empty floors. Larry Silverstein? So anyway, a few more minutes and I'll be done. I'm going to stop at 2 hours. But I'm really enjoying myself. Does anybody have any complaints? Do you have any grievances? Do you have anything to say? Fahrenheit 451. Twilight Zone and CERN, yep. Rod Serling was in the Philippines in World War II. He was in the Tarawa killing grounds, man. He saw some horrible stuff. Thank you. Well, you know, Tinfoil Hatter, you need to check out Show Me Baby. You should watch him. What'd you say? They just ran the whole series a couple of months ago. Well, are you talking about The Sopranos? Because I was going to say, I can't watch The Many Saints of New York, The Many Saints of Newark. I got HBO Max with Hulu, and it's not there. There's no, yeah, it's on Warner Brothers. You have to buy it or pre-order it or something like that. On YouTube, you can pre-order it. Yeah. Catch it, mix it with the relish. Yeah. And the bag was, it's a hot dog place. I can't remember. See, this is the minutia that I mean, if you ask me just about anything about The Sopranos, and unfortunately Seinfeld, I really loved the humor in Seinfeld. I know, and Curb Your Enthusiasm is a great show. I loved, Seinfeld was just so funny. You know, Clockwork Orange, yes. Illustrated Man, yes. Rod Steiger. Lords of Flatbush, yeah, that's Rocky, Stallone. My mom went to high school with Sylvester Stallone. So Sylvester Stallone went to Blair High School briefly, but my mom was classmates with Goldie Hawn. Lord of the Flies? Goldie Hawn. My mom was classmates with Goldie Hawn. She said that Sylvester Stallone was a greaser who had a leather jacket and smoked cigarettes and put like bacon grease in his hair. But the facts is about Rod Serling. He was an outlaw of the sensorium. He would fit stuff on TV that would never have gone back then. If you there's one episode that takes place in the Philippines, and the sergeant of a squad and a Japanese soldier, they switch places. So what he was trying to show is the commonality of the human being that's stuck in this war, that they have families and all that stuff. Tropic Thunder, yeah, you know. Right now I'm editing a video. I'm using parts from Full Metal Jacket. And near the end when one of the guys gets killed, yeah, the Emperor's not wearing any real clothes in reality. And the camera angle is all of these guys standing around this guy's dead body, and they're all talking to him. And the guy, this when the guy, he was going to get a Section 8 or something because he masturbated in the recruiting office. He still went through basic, and it was in the Marines, but he was going to get let go like a couple days after that. But he got killed in action. But he was masturbating in, like jerked off like 10 times or something. But Animal Mother says, if I'm going to get wasted for a word, my word is poontang. Anti-quetch. Depends? Depends what? Oh, defends. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. I'm going to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. I'm really glad to have, I have people watching to commiserate with and get some, feedback on. Whatever we do, we're still gonna be alive. If this ability to talk gets cut off, well, I'm not going in a boxcar. People need to stop eating toothpaste. Jack LaLanne? Oh yeah. And Newsom. Newsom's got Bell's palsy. Said he was spending Halloween with his family, but now he's really reaping what he sowed. Adult diapers, yeah. Sopranos, man. There's a lot of stuff in that show that is just so layered. I can watch it. One of my favorite movies. Has anybody ever seen Harold and Maude? Anybody in here ever watch Harold and Maude? It's a movie, 1972. Harold and Maude. Mandela Effector. Well, if you have not seen Harold and Maude, well, it's too late. You can't find it. There's clips of it on YouTube. Cat Stevens, they used Cat Stevens music in the movie. Quantum entanglement, yeah. What I'm trying to say, Harold and Maude is about this like 18 or 19-year-old dude who lives with his aunt or his mother. I can't remember. I think it's his mother. He goes to funerals for his pastime. And he stages his suicide. At the beginning of the movie, his mother walks in on him where he supposedly has hung himself. And obviously he didn't. She looks at him hanging there and goes, "Harold, I suppose you think this is funny," and walks out. And he's hanging there, and he starts laughing and choking, But he meets this older woman at this funeral. He sees her at funerals, and it's a beautiful film. It's a fantastic film. I went to see this movie. My mother took me to see it, and I thought that I would hate it. Okay, Harold and Maude. What kind of title is that, right? Well, it taught me not to judge something by the surface. So that's what the point is about The Sopranos. If you think even if you have half a brain, you'll probably really enjoy it. What else? Does anybody have any grievances? You have 11 minutes. Please say your grievances. Remember, don't eat anything bigger than your head. That's my new saying. I've been saying it for Caligula. Man, seeing that dog eat that guy's thing. Oh, I bought a movie on YouTube called The Hunger, 1981. David Bowie, Catherine Deneuve. Willem Dafoe's has a very small role in it. Yeah, what's your major malfunction? Didn't your mommy and daddy give you enough attention when you were a child? Boom. The movie The Hunger, that's a great vampire film. David Bowie was a really good actor. He didn't always, I mean, The Man Who Fell to Earth I thought was pretty good, but this is really good. I don't want to ruin it, but it's called The Hunger, and it's really, really good. It's really good. Let's see. Oh, Tony Scott directed it. Okay, Ridley Scott's brother. Okay, Tony Scott went on to do. He did Enemy of the State. He did Bad Boys, and he jumped off a bridge in 2014 or something. He was going to do a film about something with the World Trade Center. Oh, and you know the director who got shot by Alec Baldwin. She was going to make a film. She was working on a script or something for the Hollywood. How should I say? You know those people that like kids too much. She was going to make a film about that. I'm a little off, man. I'm not always right. I'll be totally honest with you. I mean, I don't have any fear right now, but sometimes when I really start to think about it, I'm not scared for myself. I'm scared for people who I care about. I'm scared for people I care about. And my uncle's up in Brunswick, Maryland. He's near, kind of near Burkittsville, where the Blair Witch took place. Whatever. But he's got M14. He's got I don't know, whatever he has in his basement. He doesn't really think it. He got the thing. Yep. 2017, I had 26 plants in the basement in D.C. And I used to make a can of butter omelet every morning. It was a diesel strain. It was sativa from Amsterdam. It's not worth it to have, I'm not, oh, no, I remember back in the 80s when I was so amazed, oh, God, it would be so great if pot was legal. But it's a monopoly. Now it's been turned into a permission slip. It went from freedom to, is it okay if I have this joint for my bad back? Is it okay if I use this thing that grew in the earth to treat my pain? Yeah. Dr. Seuss, man. You want to cancel Dr. Seuss? No. My Dr. Seuss was Frank Zappa, though. I mean, I like Dr. Seuss, but I was listening to Zappa when I was like 10. My friends were listening to Bay City Rollers. Okay? I'm listening to Frank Zappa. Watch out where the Huskies go, don't you eat that yellow snow. But I knew more than that. I knew the deep stuff. I was listening to Peaches and Regalia. I would play that really loud. It's an instrumental piece of music, and if you want, you can go listen to it. I would suggest it. It's a great piece of music. Anyway, you know, a 10-year-old kid listening to this great stuff. Yeah, tell you, there are some really nice cougars in Florida. They really are. Really nice cougars. Anybody have any grievances? 5 minutes. If you have any grievances, the spooks are listening, so you might as well let them know what you're upset about. Mel Gibson films, Conspiracy Theory. In that movie, he has to buy, whenever he leaves his apartment, he has to buy a copy of The Catcher in the Rye. There's also a shot in that movie, 1997 or 98, the beginning, where they show the back of a New York cop car, okay, and it says dial 911, and the camera pans up and they show Tower 1 and 2. 911, 9/11, Twin Towers. 1999, American Psycho. There is a shot in that movie that's really weird too. There's a lot of movies, it was in TV, but there was a lot of movies that had shots that were, you know, because directors, they always do that stuff on purpose. Does anybody have any grievances? You have roughly 4 minutes. Does anybody have any grievances? If you say them now, let's see. My cousin used to make can of butter. Yep. 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 Fit farmer. Yes. Okay. I think I know the Fit Farmer. I've watched some of that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Almagansett Press got arrested. Yeah, I'm a year younger than you. I'm exactly as old, ladies and gentlemen, people in my chat. I'm exactly as old as the zip code system. They started using it October 29th, 1964. I'm so proud of that fact. Yeah. I'm really glad to meet everybody here, man. This is cool. You know, you are not alone. Tinfoil Hatter. Show Me Sasquatch. Tommy Stock. Can somebody just send out some positive energy for me to find a drummer? Just find me a drummer. And some energy to help me find a place to live. I got almost $600 saved that I can't touch, so I can move into a room somewhere. I'm not trying to ask you to pray or anything. I'm just, you know, if you happen to have a passing thought, hey, let's get Daryl, let's send some energy so Daryl can find a place to live so he isn't sleeping in the dunes. In April, I was fire ants on the dunes in Cocoa Beach, dude. And then I was sleeping on a picnic table, and police showed up and they trespassed me. What was that? Buy a house and give it to some bitch. Yeah, you know, I was in foster homes for a while. My mom, she was a singer, okay, and she was in this band called Vito and the Vomits, and they were actually started to get a following in like 75, 76, 77, and so she went on the road with this band, and they had big bookings, and I was in a foster home, you know. So yeah, if anybody has any grievances, we're about to end this transmission. Um, I'm very glad and very lucky and very fortunate to have an audience, people to talk to who chime in. And yep, the predictive programming, I am always aware of it. I'm always aware of it. Um, there's a heck of a lot of stuff that I don't believe that I used to believe. Um, I'm not the same person spiritually or politically that I was 20 years ago. Stanley Kubrick. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you want to find out, look up the video, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. It's by Bart Sabrell. He used to be in broadcasting, okay? Wow. Keith Moon. Yeah. Halloween is my birthday is right around Halloween, you know, and I really love Halloween. I love costuming. I love the creativity that goes into it. In 2003, I was living near Full Sail University, and I was actually working there as a guitar player in the session. It's a school for game design and filmmaking and video studio recording. So somebody had a xenomorph costume that was used in the year before or back in 1993 for Alien 3. Eric Dubay, okay. Anyway, 2003 for Halloween, I was a xenomorph. I used to have a VHS, because I had a VHS camera, Panasonic. Yeah, it's gone, I don't know. I'm always looking at, like, maybe, I tried to see if anybody had any pictures, but Michael Jordan. But anyway, so I'm walking around the apartment complex, right? And it has a long head, okay, and there's these teeth, these steel teeth that they were actually plastic, but oh, okay. You and your sister was born in '64? Wow. Well, you know, I've done the math, and I think I was conceived on Valentine's Day, because my dad was in officer school, and that they got to. My mom was telling me that they got to get a motel room near the base. Yeah. So if your birthday's in late October, early November, you were probably conceived around St. Valentine's Day. Bart Sabrell. There is not a better source for that. Listen, when I started to realize that that was not, yeah, drums, I'm so lucky to have a guitar at all. I want to get an acoustic guitar. I mean, I have the money right now. I could go to the pawn shop and get an acoustic guitar with a case. I could do that. And it would have a pickup in it. And I could play gigs. I could actually play at one of the restaurants I wash dishes at. Holy shit. Oh my God, I just had a horrible idea. Oh no, I can't do that, dude. I can't do that. I can't do that. That money's for rent. I'm not gonna do that. My wife bought me a Les Paul in 2006. It was a Les Paul Studio. You guys, you guys are a bad influence. Look, I'd always wanted a Les Paul. I saw Kiss in 1977, man, okay? And I wanted a Les Paul. Yeah, that's the thing. The public library is always a great place for you if you're without a house and you have to get online and do stuff. Um, what was I saying? Can somebody help refresh my memory? Oh yeah, 26 years. I was so stupid. Sasquatch, I wasn't stupid, but when I got married, I was so naive. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with this woman. I really loved her, dude. I loved Carla so much. I really loved her, man. There's a video on my channel. The song is by my band Interval in 1987. We recorded a song called The Shift, and the video portion of the song is stuff of my wife and my stepdaughters. And I wish that I hadn't done that, but at the time I wanted to post it, and the lyrics of the song are about time and how we don't have time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't like Gene Simmons as a person. I think he's an idiot. And I was watching a video of Kiss recently. They were in Vegas or something. And I was just like, no. Kiss Alive, 1975, and Kiss Alive 2. Those live performances are really good. You know, they redid in post-production. You know, they used the multi-track recording to record those concerts, and they added stuff in the. They redid some guitar parts. What's that? You see what you said. I just found your song on your channel, and I'm going to listen. Yeah, The Shift, 1987. Carla was a beautiful woman, man. Brazil. I mean, I was shocked, you know, because I came back up from Florida. I was going to record with my buddy Norman, and I met this wonderful woman, and I sat down, Megan and Lauren, my stepkids, or soon-to-be stepkids, and I said, "Is it okay if I marry your mother?" And we had spent like 8 months getting to know each other, and it was Thanksgiving, 2005, and they started crying and hugged me. Okay, I'm not kidding. Now there's some videos on my channel you'll find of the two of them. They wanted to improvise, they wanted to act, they wanted to do comedy. So Megan used to get the hiccups, and I made this cute little 30-second video of her getting the hiccups, and then we started making it into a thing. You have 8 grandkids. Megan is very successful. I know she lives in, it's like north of Vermont or something. But I don't talk to them anymore. You know, Time Bandits. How about that movie? Time Bandits. Anybody see Time Bandits? Terry Gilliam film about these midgets who steal the map of the universe. You ever seen that one? That one's really good. Um, but the time that I had as a father, my first Father's Day was so cool because I woke up and I didn't know what was going on. They were bringing me breakfast in bed, and I was like, what's going on? And it's Father's Day. I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm a stepdad. But they called me Dad. Um, I used to play Frank Zappa or Steve Vai, instrumental music in the morning, because at the time you had Katy Perry and all this stuff coming out, and I wanted them, I put on Mozart or I put on Paganini or something like that in the morning. Tommy, message, maybe, so, that rubbed off on them. They really liked it. And we'd be in the car. No grievances? You don't have any grievances? Yeah, show me, um, in 2008 I posted a video called Freedom of Speech. If you like prog rock and you like Liquid Tension Experiment, I don't know if you know them, but it's a 9-minute video about a protest in DC against the Iraq War. It's all still photography, but the music goes really well with it, and I kind of hosted. Steve Vai. Yeah. I love just about everything Steve Vai has done. Flexible. Um, the guitar work he did in the movie Crossroads, you know, with Ralph Macchio. He's Jack Butler, the Devil's guitar player. Yep, that's Stevie Vai. And all the stuff that Steve Vai did with Frank Zappa, you know. But Frank Zappa hired Steve Vai because Steve Vai could listen to music and he could write it. Steve Vai could listen to music and write it in tablature. Oh yeah, Billy Jack. I saw that at the drive-in. I saw that with the Poseidon Adventure. Shelley Winters. I'm just going to let this go on for a little while. Ethan Brosh. What does he do? Oh man, KMFDM, I really, really like them. They're really good. Follow the Noise or the Heartbeat. Passion and Warfare is incredible. In 1999, I went to House of Blues in Orlando and I saw G3. It was John Petrucci, Steve Vai, and Joe Satriani. One Tin Soldier, yeah. That was an incredible show, dude. That was so incredible. John Petrucci, man. Whew. Yeah, that song from Billy Jack. You know what I really like is Easy Rider. Easy Rider is a timeless film. There's a lot of truth in that movie. There's a lot of truth, you know, like when they're sitting around the campfire and they're smoking that joint. I was gonna see Ozzy Osbourne that year that Randy died. I remember hearing that on DC 101 and going out in the front yard and looking down at the grass. And when John Lennon got shot, I remember listening to DC 101, Maryland radio station, and said, John Lennon has been shot. And there was silence on the radio. Shot in the back. You know, I know there might have been some things about John Lennon, but the song Imagine isn't really, it's very lofty, but I don't, there's so many better, in my opinion, there's so many better tunes that can strike that chord that have outdone that song, because it's kind of a tired song, and it kind of, it's kind of like I believe we're all one, okay? But I don't think that that should be done in the process to castigate the individual. And the song Imagine seems to, I mean, there's some good messages in it, but there's something in it. It's like, okay, on Star Trek, okay, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Remember when Spock dies? Okay, I watched that recently and I was like, I don't know if I agree with that. Now I know that Spock, gave his life or whatever, the plot of the movie, and that whole message. I remember seeing that movie and feeling all warm and runny. It's like, oh yeah, that's so cool. But the needs of the many outweigh the freedom. That doesn't work. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. I mean, I understand the rationality, but it just is kind of communistic. I love John Lennon. David Bowie, I have a video. Yeah, number 9. Oh, yeah, number 9. Yes, sir. Neil Young. Neil Young is amazing. One of my favorite songs to play is Rockin' in the Free World. That gets people going. I play Rockin' in the Free World, Running Down a Dream, a couple others, White Wedding. Sean Lennon made a really good record, like after his dad died. And yeah, yeah, yeah. But and that movie I mentioned, Harold and Maude. Google it. Look up Harold and Maude, and just read what the plot is. Sharing your story with Gene Blessing. Let me see what you said here. Hey, alien believers, thank you very much, man. I hope you have a really good night and get some restorative rest and you wake up feeling great. Yeah, Julian Lennon. Each person has their own perception and understanding. I don't think two people think alike now. Yeah, and that's a good thing. I have a lot in common with a lot of people I keep in touch with. But then again, I am constantly learning to understand other points of view, and I'm always into that. I'm always down to understand another point of view. Conspiracy music guru. Okay, don't forget Harold and Maude. Okay, here's your assignment. Like I can give you assignments. Okay. Next Sunday, I'll do another live stream. Your homework is get a copy of Johnny Got His Gun and just look up or see if you can find Harold and Maude, okay? Alien Believer. I really appreciate you watching, man. So, Johnny Got His Gun and Harold and Maude. Alright? I love you all, man. Thanks for listening to me and talking to me and chiming in. I was working on the Pearl Jam Alive, the song Alive. I'm going to get that song down. I kind of know it. I can really chop it up. It's Alive by Jack White. Alright, so Plain Sight, what's that? Is that a no-planer thing about the Twin Towers, or I know that's a movie, I think, or a channel. Um, I don't give homework, so you guys don't have to do that. Yeah, it's really funny that the wreckage outside the Pentagon doesn't match the plane that supposedly hit that building. Oh. What about the Bermuda Triangle, ladies and gentlemen? How come there aren't planes disappearing anymore, or ships disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle? One of the things I'm concerned about is the volcano in the Canary Islands, the La Palma. The earthquakes are deeper now, and they're above 5 point something. And that's exactly 3,900 miles due east of exactly where I am, across the ocean. I have no trouble sleeping. 13-hour days make me tired, and when I know that I'm working and I have income, I can sleep with a machete, that is. Believe anything you want. I if you say you believe the Earth is flat, that's fine, but we can talk about other things. No, I disagree. I mean, I've been up in an aircraft like at 36,000 feet, and I could see that there was definitely a curvature of our planet, and bubbles are round, so yeah, I don't always see that in my feed. You go about 10 hours. Yeah, I'm not going to shut this off anytime soon, but when I ask you to share your grievances, I really want you to say, hey, because this is, YouTube. This is going to be private, or I'm going to take it down because it goes over 2 hours. It's also vertical. I don't like vertical video, dude. I don't like. This is what I think. Vertical video is like wearing blinders. You know how horses are in parades and they put the blinders on both sides of their eyes? Don't look right, don't look left, just look right in front of you, okay? It's just my opinion. Now, I've made a couple vertical videos because I've had to. A cop pulled me over in 2017, and I have a vertical video of that. I'm not ditching on anybody for using vertical video, but human beings could not have survived without peripheral vision. It's a fact. Yeah, I'm trying to do good. If you use caps lock, I can read you better. My eyesight is really bad. What is that? I care far more about the share. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, Tom. So I tried to explain to my aunt. I lived up in Inverness for 4 months. And I was making videos. I was teaching guitar. I had this girl. She was deaf. And she had an acoustic guitar, and she could put her hands to the speakers, so she could feel music. And I gave her 2 or 3 lessons, and her parents gave me $100 every time. I said, it's just $35 for an hour, and they gave me a $100 bill. Okay, but she took 3 lessons from me, and she really made progress. She was playing what's that song off the wall? Hey teacher, leave those. I taught her how to play that. Yeah. I just got. Yeah, the thing is, in the 30s and 40s, there was a town in Illinois that was all flat Earth. And if you didn't believe in flat Earth, you were castigated or something. You can look it up. It was like this guy who ran this town. I'm hanging in there. Matter of perspective. That's right. That's right. Version 3 of what? Is that Daniel? Yes, my grandfather used to grow pot. The wall. Okay, yeah. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. What's really funny about that is that she'd never seen the movie, but she liked the words. And her parents were pretty neat people. Very, very kind of religious. They were they really loved music. They had a Steinway grand piano in their living room. Very wealthy. Yeah, that's a good thing to have. Um, it's a good visual deterrent. You know, it's a lot. I mean, I don't need no drugs to calm me. Yeah, yeah. I remember Jodi's parents were talking. The deaf girl. Her parents were talking about how they don't want their child to be vaccinated, or and there was some rubella and stuff when she was born, but they didn't. And I was the same. I didn't get vaccinated hardly at all when I was born. Yeah, there's nothing like making canna brownies. Anyway, when I was born, I came out high. They gave my mother too much anesthetic. Okay, I wasn't spanked to make me breathe. I was put in an incubator, um, and that's what happened. I don't think they spank babies anymore to make them breathe. But anybody want to throw out their opinion? Like back then, when babies were born, do you think that spanking them, giving them that strike of pain, do you think that did anything to the human psyche? Welcome to the world. How show me baby, he says, I like women. They're pretty and they smell good. Yeah, I said that at work today. There's a girl I really like. She's she works at the restaurant. She's really cool. I started talking to her a few weeks ago about some of the stuff we all probably talk about, and she was very pleased to hear me talking about it. She was like, "God, I'm so glad you're not talking about football." And I was like, I mean, I was into sports. Okay, I was into sports, but I got my ass kicked a lot, and I used to get chased down by this bully from the school bus to my home. So that drove me inside, and I played guitar. Later on, I became friends with him, Bob Hoff. But going to school one morning, I'm in the bus. We're talking about sharks, and he wanted to beat my ass over something. Yeah. So he wanted to beat me up. We were going in the bathroom of all places. So I take off my jacket and my shirt, and I'm standing there with my fists up, and I'm like, "Come on!" And he like freaked out. This big fat dude. And he like backed away from me. I'm standing with his shirt off. Yeah, human beings have been born on this planet without that. But It's almost as if modern society has made that necessary. You don't want to give a baby hepatitis A when it comes into the world. I work in the restaurant industry, and when I wash dishes, before they go into the machine, I would eat off of them. I clean dishes very well, man. Hey, if you're eating in the restaurant where I'm cleaning dishes, your fork, your glass, your plate, your bowl is clean. And my night gig, my night restaurant, they cook the pork. Oh, I'm hearing about shortages too. Believe me. Oh my God. They're it's just they burn the living crap out of the pork pans, okay? And I have to scrub the crap out of them. But they're clean, you know? Yeah, integrity in dishwashing, that's so stupid. But I'm just glad I have a job, people. Hallucinate? Well, I drink kratom, green. I brew it myself. And I use local, pure, unfiltered honey. Let's see. I brew it. I have hit by a truck when I was a bike courier, my left shoulder blade, my lower back. The green really keeps me going, man. Yeah, Running Down a Dream is a really good song. It's really good. And, you know, when people have had a few drinks, they're like, oh, wow, cool. You bring them in with that, and, I don't know, twist it up. Have you been able to hit a lick over a year and what, you're not playing guitar? You play guitar, or you're what? Tommy. You going to sleep? Thanks for talking, man. Yeah, it's getting late, but I don't care. I gotta be at work at like 10:30 or something in the morning. But I'm off tomorrow night, and I will definitely be. I'll probably live stream or do something. I'll probably go in. Shout out to Poor Dirt Farmer. Shout out to Jeff Gray. Honor your oath. I'd love to be the bass player, but what was that you said? Yeah, I can play bass. I love to be the bass player, but I gotta cover the guitar and drums. Yeah, I didn't know you played Tinfoil Hatter. Yeah, my coworkers at my day job, they're young greenhorns, and the stuff they listen to, like I was saying, you know, those people came in, and I because I chose that song, we got that tip. You know, when I used to drive a cab, I moved down here in 2019. I drove a cab for 4 months. That's right. All that fuel burned out in 30 seconds, man. And cumulative burning material does not increase a fire temperature. Do you want me to? I mean, I have a video on my channel where I give you the information about the planes. I'm playing the blues. It's called Four Planes in a Fountain. There's this old tune called Four Coins in a Fountain or something. But, you know, But if you look at the video, there's titles and I tell you information about the planes. Now I remember Loose Change 2007, there was a part in that where the planes were landed in Ohio or something like that, but the radar tracking on those planes, the transponders turned off in areas where the coverage was almost non-existent. That was very obscure knowledge back then. It wasn't widely known. So if these people turned off the transponders in areas where there was no coverage, how did they know that? And how come Hani Hanjour didn't care about landing a plane? The head of the Pakistani ISI sent Muhammad Atta like $500,000, and that wasn't like a red flag? There's a lot of tie-ins also, ladies and gentlemen, with the... do you remember the envelope that was, there was like in October, there was like something was sent in the mail? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. There's a video, Lawyers for 9/11 Truth. Barbara Honegger has got some great stuff about that. Yeah, the Pentagon's very interesting. There was a naval accountant by the name of April Gallup. She was in her office with her baby. Yes, exactly. Look up, Tommy, look up the video with Barbara Honegger. Look, dudes, I'm going to end the stream. You guys be cool. Take care. I love you guys. Bye-bye. What's up?